Hello dear students, myself Mrs. Rajeshri Naik from BYK College of Commerce Nasik, working as a teacher of economics, welcomes you on our online lecture series for standard 11 arranged by Gokhale Education Society Nasik. In the last online lecture we have studied Professor Alfred Marshall's welfare-oriented definition of economics and Leonel Robbins' scarcity-oriented definition of economics. And today, in this online lecture, we are going to study about branches of economics. In that, we will study about microeconomics and basic concepts of microeconomics. In your textbook, there are total 8 basic concepts of microeconomics. Today, we will be studying first 4 basic concepts and the rest 4 basic concepts shall be studied in the next video lecture. So the content of today's presentation is branches of economics, in that microeconomics and basic concepts of microeconomics. First 4 concepts. First, want. Second, goods and services. Third, utility. And fourth, value. Now about branches of economics. In 1933, Sir Ragnar Frisch coined the term microeconomics and macroeconomics. These terms are derived from the Greek words micros and macros respectively. The study of economics is divided by the modern economist into 2 parts, that is microeconomics and macroeconomics. The term microeconomics and macroeconomics were first used by Ragnar Frisch in 1933. The prefixes micro and macro have been derived from the Greek words micros and macros, which means large and small respectively. In other words, micro means individualistic and macro means aggregative. Now let us study about microeconomics. Micro means small. Microeconomics deals with the behavior of the individual variables such as a household, worker, firm, industry, etc. According to Kenneth Bouldings, microeconomics is the study of particular firms, particular households, individual prices, wages, incomes, individual industries, particular commodities. It means microeconomics is a study of economic activity of households as a consumption unit, individual firms and industries as a production unit, and individual prices, wages, incomes, and their determination. In the words of Maurice Dobb, microeconomics is in fact a microscopic study of the economy. It means in microeconomic analysis, each individual unit is examined separately in detail. It means in microeconomic analysis, each individual unit is examined separately in detail. Let us understand the basic concepts of microeconomics. First concept is want. It is difficult to define want in few words. In common language, want can be referred to as a need. In economics, want denotes a feeling of lack of satisfaction. And this feeling enables the individual to satisfy his want. Yes, it is perfectly right that it is very difficult to define human wants within a few words. All of us want to live, and for this reason, we need food, clothing, and shelter. So human wants have grown in number for 2 basic reasons. Now, what are the 2 basic reasons? The first one, desire for better living due to inventions and innovation. The first reason, desire for better living due to inventions and innovations. Human desire for better and ever better living, the desire for change, increasing knowledge, human progress, etc. And these have led to emergence and growth more and newer wants. Now, second basic reason, rise in population. Wants have been increasing because of the addition of more and more wants, as also because of rise in population. and new invention and discoveries also. Therefore, human wants are ever growing and never ending. Now, let us see the characteristics of wants. The first characteristic of want is wants are unlimited. Wants are unlimited. Wants not only arise again and again, but they are also unending. If one want gets satisfied, another arises. So wants go on multiplying in number. Crisis is the mother of civilization with the passage of time. Human wants are increasing. We may satisfy some of our wants for time being, but they may also reoccur. Moreover, there are so many wants which will never be satisfied during our lifetime. Second characteristic is wants are recurring in nature. Wants are recurring in nature. Several human wants occur again and again, while some might be only occasional. Which means several human wants occur again and again during the same day. We want food during breakfast, during lunch, during dinner, etc. However, we want medicine at the time when we feel sick. Therefore, some of our wants are reoccurred many times during a day, while some human wants only repeated after a long time. In some cases, human wants are only occasional. Third characteristic is wants differ with age. Wants differ with age. Wants and their satisfaction differ as per the chronological age. See the figure A, B, C. Human wants are changing according to the age. A child wants toys, whereas an adult wants a motorbike. An old woman wants to read books. So other examples are a student wants to go to school. A grown-up wants a job and a secured life. Fourth characteristic of want is wants differ with gender. Wants differ with gender. Men and women want different goods according to their needs, which means wants of a boy and a girl are different. Generally, a girl wants to dance, whereas a boy wants to play. A gentleman wants shirt, pants, ties, etc. However, a lady wants saris and salwar suits. Men would want a shaving kit, while women would want a hair clip, or we can say makeup kit. Thus, both men and women want different goods according to their needs. Fifth characteristic is wants differ due to preferences. Wants differ due to preferences. Individual habits, taste, and preferences matter a lot while deciding wants of the people. In a simple manner, human wants are also changing according to taste, habit, and preferences. Some persons want spicy foods, while some others want very simple non-spicy foods. Some persons wants to drink tea, while some others wants to drink coffee. Some person prefer traditional clothes to wear, while some person prefer Western clothes to wear. Means wants may also change according to the habits of the people. Sixth characteristic is wants differ with seasons. Wants differ with seasons. Wants keep on changing with seasons. See the figure number 1.6. A same person wants cotton clothes, or we can say sun coat, hat and goggle in summer season. Raincoats and umbrella at the time of rainy season. Woolen clothes during winter season. Other examples are people from mountain or hilly areas, they want room heater. But plain land people demand for AC machine. In short, we can say that wants keep on changing with seasons. Seventh and the last characteristic is want differ due to culture. Wants differ due to culture. Differences in culture influence wants that are related to food and dressing styles, etc. Which means a Bengali wants rice and fish, a Punjabi wants roti and dal, A Tamil wants idli and dosa. A Maharashtrian wants puram poli, etc. So in their food. An European wants coat, pant, tie, whereas an Indian wants kurta and pajama. Thus, human wants are varying with culture. Now, the next basic concept of microeconomics is goods and services. Goods and services. These are popular terms of economics. Anything that satisfies human wants is termed as a good. Anything that satisfies human wants is termed as a good. It has material existence. For example, chalk used by a teacher. Services also satisfy human wants but do not have any material existence. Services also satisfy human wants but do not have any material existence. For example, teaching offered by the teacher, which means goods are tangible objects that satisfy person's want or people's wants. For example, goods are items you buy such as food, clothing, toys, toothpaste, furniture, etc. And a service is an action that a person does for someone else. A service is an action that a person does for someone else. So services are actions such as haircuts and car repair, which also satisfy people's want. Goods are material things which are wanted by human beings. They can be seen or touched. But services are non-material things. These cannot be seen or touched, only their effects are felt. When we are hungry, we take food. When we fall sick, we take medicines. When we study, we use book, notebook, pen, paper, etc. So all these examples of goods which satisfy some of our wants. And all these things which satisfy human wants are called as good. However, wants for haircut, washing of clothes, mending of shoes, stitching of clothes, studying in a school or college, etc. are not satisfied by goods. These are satisfied by the services performed by a barber, washerman, cobbler, tailor, and teacher, etc. So, some of our wants are satisfied by goods and some by services. Hence, all the human wants can be satisfied by goods and services. The next basic concept of microeconomics is utility. Capacity of a commodity to satisfy human wants or want satisfying power of a commodity is called utility. Capacity of a commodity to satisfy human wants, or we can say want satisfying power of a commodity, is called as utility. In ordinary sense, the term utility means usefulness. But in economics, utility means the capacity of a good to satisfy human want. A commodity has utility to the person which he buys it to satisfy his want. So utility analysis explains the want satisfying effort by a consumer to maximize satisfaction. Utility analysis explains the want satisfying efforts by a consumer to maximize satisfaction. See the picture. All the items in this picture satisfy human wants. For example, bulb, mobile, computer, shelter, water tap. The next basic concept of microeconomics is value. Value has two approaches in economics. That is value in use and value in exchange. Value can be described as a measure of the benefit from a good or service to an economic agent. It is typically measured in units of currency. Value can be described as a measure of the benefit from a good or service to an economic agent. It is typically measured in units of currency. Another interpretation is that economic value represents the maximum amount of money an agent is willing and able to pay for a good or service. Economic value represents the maximum amount of money an agent is willing and able to pay for a good or service. Value has two approaches in economics, that is value in use and value in exchange. Now about value in use approach. It refers to the worth of a commodity. What I said, it refers to the worth of a commodity. In simple words, it is usefulness of a commodity. For example, no one has to pay price for sunshine, but its immense worth for life can never be doubted. In economic language, sunshine has a high value in use. It is an example of free good. Now about value in exchange approach. It refers to the worth of a commodity or a service expressed in terms of another commodity. It refers to the worth of a commodity or a service expressed in terms of another commodity. When this value is expressed in terms of money, it is called price of a commodity. A good which commands a price is termed as an economic good. For example, TV, car, washing machine, etc. Now, let us see the water diamond products of values. See the figure number 1.7, water diamond paradox. Some commodities have a high value in use but low exchange value. For example, water. Some commodities have a high value in use but low exchange value. For example, water. Whereas some commodities have low value in use but high exchange value due to its scarcity. For example, diamond. Whereas some commodities have low value in use but high exchange value due to its scarcity. For example, diamond. So, in today's lecture, we have covered microeconomics and first 4 basic concepts of microeconomics. That's it. In the next online lecture video, we will go with the rest 4 basic concepts of microeconomics. Till then, have a great time. Thanking you.